The crowd outside Paris Fashion Week thought they were ready for anything, until a black SUV marked with a bold No.1 slowly pulled up to the Loewe show entrance. Cameras flashed wildly as Wong Ebo stepped out first, but seconds later, the door opened again, revealing Xiao Zhan. And suddenly, the entire crowd erupted in shock. Paris had already been glowing with excitement that evening. Fashion editors, photographers, and international fans lined the streets hours before the show began. Because tonight was not just another runway presentation. Tonight was one of the most anticipated moments of Paris Fashion Week, the Loewe Fall winter show. The atmosphere outside the venue felt almost electric. Fans from different countries held banners and phones high in the air, hoping to capture a glimpse of the global celebrities invited to this prestigious event. But among the whispers spreading through the crowd, one name kept surfacing again and again. Wang Yibo. As a global ambassador for Loewe, his presence was expected to be powerful. Yet no one predicted just how dramatic his arrival would become. Suddenly, security teams shifted their positions. Photographers raised their cameras. And then, a sleek black SUV rolled slowly toward the entrance. At first, it looked like any luxury arrival. But as the vehicle came closer, people began to notice something unusual. On the front of the car, a bold marking stood out clearly. No.1. For insiders of the fashion world, that detail carried meaning. A car marked with No.1 often symbolized the highest VIP arrival. And the moment the car door opened, the crowd finally understood why. Stepping out with calm confidence was none other than Wang Yibo. Dressed in a striking Loewe ensemble that perfectly blended elegance with bold artistic design, he immediately commanded the attention of every camera present. Flashlights exploded like lightning across the night. Fans screamed his name in waves. Wang Yibo, over here. He paused briefly, offering a composed glance toward the photographers. His expression remained cool, almost mysterious. Yet that quiet confidence was exactly what made the moment unforgettable. Because whenever Wang Yibo appears at a global fashion event, he doesn't simply attend, he dominates the spotlight. But what happened next was something no one expected. As Wang Yibo began walking toward the entrance of the Loewe venue, fans were still cheering wildly. For many people, the highlight of the night had already arrived. The global ambassador had made his entrance. The cameras had captured the moment. Everything seemed complete. But then, something unexpected happened. The door of the same SUV slowly opened again. At first, people assumed it was simply a staff member or security. But within seconds, murmurs began spreading through the crowd. Phones lifted higher. Voices trembled with disbelief. And then, the figure stepped out into the flashing lights. It was Xiao Jean. For a moment, time itself seemed to freeze. And then the entire crowd exploded. Fans screamed so loudly that even the photographers looked stunned. Because no one expected the two Chinese superstars to appear in the same arrival moment. Standing under the Paris lights, Xiao Zhan looked effortlessly elegant. His fashion style carried a softer yet refined aura, perfectly complementing the atmosphere of the event. And although he had just stepped out quietly, his presence instantly ignited the crowd once again. Social media began reacting in real time. Within minutes, videos from fans were already circulating across platforms. Short clips captured the exact moment when Xiao Zhan emerged from the vehicle. Comments flooded the posts. Did that really just happen? They arrived together? This is insane. For fans who have followed both stars for years, the moment felt surreal. Two of the most influential figures in Chinese entertainment. Two global icons with massive fandoms, standing within the same fashion moment in Paris. And suddenly, Paris Fashion Week was no longer just about fashion. It had become a stage for a rare and unforgettable celebrity moment. But the story of that night was only beginning, because inside the venue, the impact of their arrival would grow even bigger. Inside the Loewe show venue, the atmosphere was just as intense. Editors from major fashion magazines sat alongside global influencers and celebrities from different countries. The lights dimmed slightly as guests continued arriving, and whispers began spreading through the room. Wong Ebo just arrived. Xiao Zhan is here too. Phones discreetly lit up across the audience as people searched for confirmation. Then the doors opened. Wong Ebo entered first. His presence immediately drew attention from nearby guests. Fashion photographers positioned inside the venue quickly captured his look once again. Even among some of the most famous names in the industry, Wong Ebo carried an aura that was difficult to ignore. His connection with Loewe had already been widely celebrated across the fashion world. But tonight, something about his arrival felt even more symbolic. It was a reminder of how powerful Asian celebrities had become within global fashion culture. Moments later, Xiao Zhan entered as well, and once again, heads turned across the room. Though both stars maintained calm professionalism, their simultaneous presence created a unique atmosphere. Guests exchanged curious glances. Some whispered excitedly. Others simply watched with fascination. Because it wasn't every day that two cultural powerhouses from the same entertainment industry appeared at the same global fashion event. The runway show had not even started yet, but already, the night was filled with unforgettable energy. Outside the venue, fans were still sharing videos and photos online. Inside, the fashion world was quietly acknowledging something important. Asian stars were no longer just invited guests. They were shaping the global spotlight itself. As the Loewe Fall winter presentation finally began, the runway lights illuminated the room. Models stepped forward in bold silhouettes and artistic designs that reflected the brand's creative vision. But even as the fashion unfolded, the earlier arrival moment continued to ripple across social media. Clips of Wong Ebo stepping out of the No.1 SUV were now spreading across global fan communities. Another clip showed the exact second Xiao Jean emerged behind him. Together, those few seconds have become the most talked about celebrity moment of the evening. Fans from Asia, Europe, and North America shared the footage repeatedly. Many wrote emotional messages about how proud they felt seeing two Chinese stars receiving such global attention. Others focused on the symbolism of the moment. A luxury SUV marked No.1, a global ambassador stepping into the spotlight. Another superstar appearing moments later. It felt cinematic, almost like a carefully directed scene from a movie. But the truth was even more powerful. It was real, and it happened right there at Paris Fashion Week. Fashion analysts also began discussing the significance. For years, the global fashion industry had increasingly embraced Asian celebrities. Yet moments like this demonstrated just how influential that presence had become. Wang Yibo's partnership with Loewe had already proven successful worldwide. His attendance at major fashion events consistently generated massive online engagement. Meanwhile, Xiao Zhan remained one of the most recognizable faces in Asian entertainment. Seeing both stars present at the same show reinforced an important reality. The global stage of fashion was evolving, and these artists were helping shape its future. By the time the Loewe show concluded, Paris had already witnessed one of the most memorable celebrity arrivals of the season. Outside the venue, fans were still discussing the moment long after the final runway walk ended. For many of them, the image of that black SUV with the bold No.1 marking had already become iconic, because it symbolized more than just VIP status. It represented influence, recognition, and the growing global impact of Asian stars in international culture. When Wong Ebo stepped out of that vehicle, he carried the confidence of a global ambassador. But when Xiao Zhan followed moments later, the night transformed into something even more special. Two stars, one unforgettable arrival, and a moment that fans around the world will continue replaying again and again. Because sometimes, the most powerful memories are not planned. They simply happen in a flash of lights, cheers, and shared excitement. And for those who witnessed that arrival at Paris Fashion Week, it was a moment that proved how far these stars have traveled, from beloved idols to global icons under the Paris sky.